Good morning. A happy Monday as it is here today, whatever day you're into. Finally got the interwebs working. Yay! Can I get a yay? A ding of success? Ding. Yes, I'm still silly. I'm still here to check in with my own body, do a little moving, and invite you to join me if you feel like it, to whatever degree you feel like it. I'm going to try not to knock myself out on the dome. And that might be entertaining. I don't know. It'd be worth the story. Let's just take a couple deep breaths and let the arms swing. Forgot my belt. I'm going to take a couple more breaths, focusing on pulling air into the lungs by pulling down in the diaphragm and then squeezing the air out by pushing up in the diaphragm. And while I do that, I'm going to bring my attention into the bottoms of my feet, root myself into the center of the earth. Shake that out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take a nice roll down. First, just take a sec to check in with my alignment from the center of the sky down to the center of the earth. And then rolling down. Just checking in with the spine today, seeing where it's stiff, where it's supple. Just letting gravity do some unwinding, hanging from the hips here. Letting everything go. Letting go of the belly, letting go of the low back. Just hanging here from the hips. And then I'm going to roll up, still just letting the arms hang. Stacking one vertebrae on the next. Still just checking in with the spine. Bend the knees, swing the arms back, and coming into a counter stretch. And back to neutral. Shake that out. Swan dive down with a relatively flat back from the hips again. Just relaxing into that. I'm going to step the feet out into just a moderate straddle. Get a little bit of a different stretch. Pulling the arms, or pulling the torso over the left leg with the arms on the left leg. And I'm going to lift this left arm. Still pulling with my right. Into a nice twist. Coming back to center. And then pulling with the left arm on the right leg and lifting that right arm. Enjoying a nice twist on that side. A little hug for the internal organs. A little twist through the spine. And coming back to neutral. Bending the knees. Let's roll up in that straddle position. Just letting the arms drape backwards, lifting the chest. Enjoying a nice counter stretch there. Shake that out. Shake it to the left. Shake it to the right. I'm going to do some hip slides. Actually, let's start in a straddle position with hip dips. Dipping on the left, getting a nice stretch through that inner thigh. Dipping on the right. Got some congestion this morning. Making sure to try to breathe in through the nose, Exhale through the mouth. Still pulling that air in and squeezing it out in the lungs. Let's walk these feet back under the hips. I have to move this blanket. It's holding me up a little bit. Checking in with the hip bones and putting the feet right under the hip bones. Let's slide the hips, keeping weight on both feet, resisting that temptation to lift the left leg, sliding the hips over to the right, pulling down a little bit, trying to keep these hips on a parallel plane with the floor. Again, pushing with both feet over to the left and both feet over to the right. And again, over to the left. For me, it helps to really focus on that foot that tends to want to pick up. And by planting that foot and pushing over into the opposite side, I get a nice stretch through the back and the torso. Pulling down in that hip. And one more time. And noticing how the two sides are different, how they work together, how they sometimes don't work together. Shake that out. Now taking weight off the right and pushing into that hip on the left. And weight off the left, pushing into the right. Do be mindful of that ball and socket joint. Not trying to pop anything out because that is not good. Just trying to explore the range of motion in that hip socket a little bit. Get a nice stretch through the hip. Keep that limber in there. Hips are a big deal. A thing we use a lot. We actually use them all. That reminds me after a little shaking it out, let's do little circles with these little finger and wrist bones. Just checking in with those. They're just as important as those big hip sockets, really. Going the other way, just stretching into that, noticing where there's tension. Let's do some circles from the elbows. Just checking in with that joint. And then how about from the shoulder, medium circles. Still breathing in through the nose. Let's go the other way. Let's reverse that again, and with big circles, circle in the arms. Gonna have to step forward a little bit to not hit the dome. Let's go the other way. Just getting into big circles with the arms. One more big circle. Let's do one more breath in. Pulling the diaphragm down, filling the lungs, and then squeezing that air out. Shaking it out. Give all that stress back to the universe so it can be recycled. Remember to wear your belt. I'm going to step back with that left foot, pulling that hip forward, back hip back. Looking for a perpendicular line through the hips, tipping the tailbone under a little bit for a nice, long, strong, cohesive line through the torso, using the spine and the abdomen together. Pushing into that back heel, Checking that this front knee isn't crunching past those front toes. Wiggling that back heel out a little bit more. I'm pushing into that. Bringing the fingers down in front, rolling those shoulders back and down, and bringing my sharp focus to my fingertips. And then gazing with soft eyes past my fingertips around the earth to see the back of my own head. And then again, sharp focus on those fingertips. Try not to fall over. And then soft eyes again, gazing out past my fingertips, noticing my peripheral gaze. And then sharp eyes again, focusing on my fingertips. Then I'm going to shift this back heel forward a little bit onto that perpendicular line, opening the hips, swinging this knee out, opening this hip in this direction, and checking out this side plane here. Going to bend from the hip, sliding that back foot out a little bit more into a nice side twisting triangle, using my right arm and leg against each other for torque and support. Gazing up past those left fingertips. Feeling for a nice long line through that long leg. And then I'm going to bring this hand around the back, reaching for this thigh, getting a nice twist through the spine, giving all those organs a nice hug, just to join that. And then unwinding all of that, bringing this hand down on the inside of this bent leg rather. Join a nice deep lunge, bringing weight onto those hands, and bringing this front foot back to meet the back foot, pressing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, and pushing into those heels. Let's tread those heels a little bit, bending the right and bending the left, pushing into the left and pushing into the right, and again into the left and the right, and then pushing again into both heels, pressing the heart toward the earth, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, getting a nice stretch through those legs. And I'm going to swing the body forward, lifting the chest through the shoulders, keeping those legs together, lifting the eyes, lifting the shoulders, turning the elbows in towards the body. Add a little tongue stretch there if you feel like it. I'm rocking on those toes just to get a little variation on that stretch. Dropping the belly, relaxing through the low back, keeping the butt and legs together to protect that low back. And then lifting the hips, pushing back again through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pushing into those heels. Swinging that left foot forward into a nice deep lunge in between the hands. I like to bounce in a deep lunge a little bit. You bounce if you like to bounce. Don't bounce if you don't like to bounce. It's my unsolicited advice for the hour. I'm going to step forward with this back foot and hang here again in forward fold. Just letting go of the belly, letting go of the back, letting go of the spine, letting go of the arms, letting go of the neck. Letting go of the past like it was yesterday. Bend the knees, swinging the arms back, coming into a counter stretch, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes, pushing the hips forward. Coming back to neutral. Step back with the right foot into a moderate lunge again. pushing into that back heel, twisting the back hip forward and the forward hip back, tipping the tailbone under, looking for a nice, long, strong, cohesive line through the core, the spine and the abdomen working together. Checking that the front knee is not crunching past those toes, pushing into that back heel, and lifting the arms, making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders. I'm hitting dome here. Bringing those arms down in front with a sharp focus on the fingertips and rolling these shoulders down and back. Still working to keep those hips relatively perpendicular to the feet. And then soft eyes, peripheral vision, gazing out past my fingertips, all the way around my heart to see the back of my own head. And then again, sharper focus on the tips of my fingers. And again, soft eyes, gazing out long past my fingers, seeing the peripheral vision here and imagining the back of my own head, wrapping that vision all the way around my heart, around the earth, around the universe. And then again, sharp focus on the fingertips. And now I'm going to shift my back heel forward a little bit to put it on the perpendicular line, opening the hips, swinging this knee out, and exploring the side plane here. I'm going to slide that back heel out a little bit. Still working to open these hips, exploring the side plane, and then I'm going to bend from the hips into a side twisting triangle on this side, using my left arm and leg against each other for torque and support, bringing that right hand up to gaze past those fingertips. Try not to sink in that supporting leg. Giving those organs a little hug. Spine, a little twist, and then I'm going to bring this hand around the back, gazing out past that long leg and reaching for this bent leg, giving the organs a little more of a hug, twist, a little wringing out. Just enjoying that for a breath or so. Then I'm going to unwind all of that, bringing this hand down on the inside of this front leg, enjoying a nice deep lunge. And then bringing that front leg back to meet the back leg, pushing through the feet, through the palms, the soles of the hands, as I like to say, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pushing into those heels. I think my ribs might be healed up to try enough to try one push-up. Let's come into a plank position from there. Come back around here somewhere. Keeping the elbows in close to the body, keeping the palms under the shoulders, keeping the legs together, the butt together, and coming down nice and slow. I like to count to 3 and then hold for 3 at the bottom. And then pushing up for 3. Lifting the hips again. That's my first push-up in like a month. Or a little more. Anyway, feels good. I want to leave it at 1. Pushing again through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. Swing that right leg forward into a nice deep lunge. Like my shirt. I designed it. You can buy one over on my spring t-shirt shop. Enjoying that deep lunge, and then stepping forward with that back foot, hanging from the hips again, just letting the head go, letting the arms go, using the hands a little bit for a little extra weight on the head to help encourage that unwinding of the spine. And pushing through the feet, rolling up 1 vertebra at a time. Let's shake that out. This heater's kind of warm today. We're getting warmer out there, aren't we? I can't see where the off button is, 'cause I didn't put my contacts in yet. I hope that your day is off to a good start. And however it starts, I hope it finishes well as well. And however it starts and finishes, I hope that you remember to give yourself a little love, because you are worthy of your own unconditional love. I'm going to bring my weight onto my right foot and bring this left knee up toward left shoulder, tipping the tailbone under. Let's give the ankle a little check, rotation, and then reaching for the bottom of this untied boot. Getting a nice stretch through the shoulders and then pulling back in the shoulders. Checking in with that supporting foot, relaxing that foot. And as much as possible, straightening that front leg. Releasing with the right and bringing that over to the left. Just exploring that hip socket a little bit. A different position. And then bending that leg. Setting that in close to the groin on the supporting side. Still pushing that knee out. Try not to counter lean. Tipping the tailbone under a little bit. Still looking for that nice, long, strong line through the torso. Lifting the arms, making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders. And just imagining myself a strong, smiling tree in a gentle breeze. Releasing all that, stomp it out a little bit. My stabilizers are still yelling at me. I'm going to bring my weight over to the left. Bring this right knee up toward right shoulder. Again, relaxing that supporting side, relaxing the shoulders, tipping the tailbone under. Let's give that stiff ankle a little rotation. One direction and then the other direction. Goodness. Reaching for the bottom of this foot. Doing a little stretch through the backs of the shoulders there. And then pulling back in the shoulders. Checking in with that supporting leg. Straightening that side as much as possible. Out to the front. Releasing with the left and bringing that out to the right to explore that hip socket a little bit. Giving that a breath or so to see if it will relax. Bending that knee, setting that foot in close to the groin on the supporting side. Swinging this knee out, tipping the tailbone under, trying to remain relaxed and also long and strong. Through that supporting side, relaxing that supporting foot. Bring the arms up, making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders. And I'm going to imagine myself a strong mountain covered in trees and gentle dancing breezes. Stomp that out, shake it out. Remember to let go of stresses, make room for new stresses. There's plenty more on the way, or at least set them down for a little while. You can always pick them back up. Those are pretty dirty glasses. I don't know if they help. Davina, it's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you are remembering to take good care of you and your body. Give yourself a little love. Give yourself a little playful sway. I'll be seeing you. Peace.